Yeah, the power went out, and yeah, I was speaking to the camera. Thanks. Oh yeah, the power went out, and I don't know. I was just thinking a little bit. You know, it's very good to have light sources all around you. You know, no matter where you're at, you want to be able to have light sources in all rooms and whatever. For example, here's two light sources right here. I had immediately right next to me. Okay, this is embarrassing. Okay, this sucks. This one sucks. Nah, this sucks. I'm gonna try different batteries. What the hell is going on here? On or something? Or, I mean, what? Ah! Silly me. Okay. I think I know what happened. I had it screwed in incorrectly. See? Okay, here's another thing. It might sound a little weird, but you really want to know where everything is located at in your house. You know, even in the dark. See, I'm so used to this place. I know exactly where everything's at. I know where the lights are at. I know where the weapons and everything are located at. I know where the ammunition, the extra magazines. Might be a good idea to really test yourself. You don't want to be in a situation where you have to find out for yourself. Obviously, I know where some of the food is at. Food's really all over the place. Know where some alcohol and some first aid is located at. Hey, let me talk about gun confiscation. People have talked about Hurricane Katrina and the fact that the National Guard collected guns during Hurricane Katrina, and therefore it may be likely that if there is a disaster, that they may do so again all across the country. And I think Hurricane Katrina is a pretty bad example of what would happen during an economic collapse in relation to gun confiscation, because first of all, it was an isolated incident. The disaster zone was in a small part of the country. It was just New Orleans that was hit by a hurricane. It wasn't a situation where the entire country's power grid went down, or massive parts of the country's power grid went down, and the entire country was descending into chaos. With Hurricane Katrina, you had a situation where the National Guard can go into an isolated area. They can operate. They can have a base of operations outside of the disaster zone, in the safe zone, so to speak. And they were able to take guns away from a lowered population. You have to remember that most of the people in New Orleans were out of the city when the hurricane hit. So when they were taking away guns, they were dealing with a much smaller population of people. It wasn't as though they were dealing with the entire city of New Orleans. So it was a lot easier for them to confiscate guns in that scenario. And it was also easier because people realized that it was just a natural disaster in their area. With the economic collapse, you don't really have that choice. If you give up your gun to the National Guard or whoever, police officer in any way, they pretty much killed you, because you really have no way to really defend yourself. So in that situation, people would react very differently to whomever is trying to collect guns. So these are two very important points I like to highlight. Without the evacuation, you have large groups of people, gangs. You have just regular people, large groups of people that the National Guard or the police or whoever's stupid enough to try to confiscate guns. They're going to be dealing with a whole lot of different people. You're going to see neighborhoods form units to protect their area if there is an economic collapse. So with that, will people just give up their guns? Well, let's just say I wouldn't want to be one of those people who are hired to try to take guns for people when they realize that we have street gangs and all kinds of elements, rogue police roaming around in a collapse scenario. I'm just basing all this on Argentina. So anyway, you guys tell me what you think about all this. Do you think gun confiscation is a real possibility in an economic collapse? During an economic collapse, systems break down. You're gonna have hard enough time to actually feed your soldiers, and whomever you're trying to get to make the peace. It's going to be hard enough to do that, and trying to actually take guns away from law-abiding citizens and criminals. That'll be an interesting challenge. I mean, this is something that people in the military and the police have to understand. Yeah, people respect what you do, and especially for the police, people definitely respect the gun and the badge. But the thing is, with the economic collapse, feeding their family and protecting their family is more important than bowing to anybody. With the economic collapse scenario, the systems that back you up are no longer functional. So you sort of put yourself in a situation where you're just a guy with a gun. I mean, I hate to put it crudely, but that's what a lot of people become. And people talk about, well, nobody's going to go against military. And here's the thing. If you think people are going, well, ask yourself this: would you let your kids starve to death because some guy in a uniform wanted your gun? I mean, sure, you got a lot of training, but I don't even want to go here on the internet, but people should put a little bit more thought into things. I'll just leave it at that. Now, if the military and police are ordered to confiscate guns, will they do it? Absolutely. I think they will. I think the overwhelming majority will. Probably 90 to 95% will do whatever they're told to do. However, there are some people in the military who will not. There are some people who did not follow unconstitutional orders during the aftermath of Hurricane Katrina, and it's an important story. I'm actually going to put a link in the description box to this story that probably doesn't get a lot of coverage. I still think it's an anomaly, and I still think most people will do whatever they're told to do in the military and the police. But some people will stand by the Constitution, and I do think it's important to highlight that.